and welcome to the very first Nidoqueens Corner, which will be your one-stop shop for Nidoqueens draft coverage. We're going to start off with Cody's predictions, the ever-popular Cody's predictions, and then get into some of the early results for the season. Then we got a couple coach interviews. We'll wrap up with the final results for the rest of the season, and then take a look at the table and the division standings going into Week 2. Now let's get into Cody's predictions. He doesn't predict his own games, but we got 16 more games on the slate that he jumped into. Let's see who he's got picking up the victories this week. His game of the week, the New York Nidoqueens against the Bayou Buzzwoles. He's got the Buzzwoles over the Nidoqueens. He's got the Dade County Magmar etching out a win over the Mystic Rebels. He's got the London Lanterns falling to the Weston Road Weaviles. The Napa Valley Tyrants taking down the Black City Mambas. He predicts the Portland Porygon taking down the Lavender Town Ghosts. He predicts the Weston Road Reviles to go 2-0 this week as they are supposed to take down the New York Nidoqueens. He also has the Dade County Magmar going 2-0 as they take down the Napa Valley Tyrants. He has the Lavender Town Ghosts picking up one win this week as they take down the Tampa Bay Thunderbolts. He has the Northern Irish Nihilegos taking down the Limerick Lightning. The Fairhope Salamence going into Carolina and defeating the Clawitzer. The Atlanta Absol falling to the Anchorage Agron. The Limerick Lightning falling to 0-2 as they go down to the London Lanterns. He predicts the Black City Mambas will beat the Fairhope Salamence. He predicts the Portland Porygon to start 2-0 as they take down the Anchorage Agron. He predicts the Bayou Buzzwoles starting 2-0 as they take down the Northern Irish Nihilegos. And last game on the docket, he has the Carolina Clawitzer picking up the win against the Mystic Rebels. We have the Northern Irish Nihilegos taking down the Limerick Lightning 6-4. The Fairhope Salamence fall to the Carolina Clawitzer. The Atlanta Absol pull out a tight win against the Anchorage Agron. The London Lanterns are able to down the Limerick Lightning. The Black City Mambas take down the Fairhope Salamence. The Anchorage Agron get on the board with their first win over the Portland Porygon. The London Lanterns fall to the Weston Road Weaviles. In a rematch of the Division II Championship, the New York Nidoqueens fall to the Bayou Buzzwoles. The Mystic Rebels take down the Carolina Clawitzer 6-2. The Oregon Oshawott fall in a close game to the Atlanta Absol. And the Dade County Magmar take down the Mystic Rebels. Those were some of the results from around the league. We'll have more recaps shortly, but now we have an interview with the head coach of the Anchorage Agron, Eric. And now joining us live is the head coach of the Anchorage Agron. We're joined by Eric, also known as The Red Gaming. Eric, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's much appreciated.
So, Eric, this is your first draft league. This was your first draft league game. I understand that you lost. I saw the matchup. Tough loss. You were there in control until the very end. How do you feel like your first game went ultimately?
Well, I think it went better than I had planned, other than, of course, taking the loss. First time really doing competitive, other than like trainer challenges and stuff. It was definitely a surprise. I didn't think I was going to lose, to be honest. About halfway through, I feel like I had Jonathan on the ropes, and I thought I was just going to sweep out, bring Marshadow out, Dynamax, Max Knuckle into Stack Attacka and be done. And then that faithful critical hit from that Max Steel Spike, and it was over. And I basically panicked and got on the ropes and didn't think about things that were going on. So it was definitely a very much a learning experience. So I'm excited to take what I know from this battle and move on to the next when I face the Portland Porygons with Peter. So I'll definitely take that into consideration.
I've played Peter before. I can definitely say that he is a good opponent. I'm sure that I have a bunch of new viewers here that have not played in a draft league, not done much competitive. As someone that's doing exactly what they're seeing here, what would you say would be the best advice for them?
Oh, best advice. Kind of go with what you know. Keep an eye on what's coming down the line as far as your position in the draft. Uh, don't get too many quad weeks, and kind of go. You don't want. You got to have stuff to work with now. If you want to go fast and do what you need to do, build your team off of that. Just understand that there are things like Trick Room who can mess things up. But you can also take and get the room service item, which isn't exactly a waste of an item, but you can do little trick things like that and bait people in for the trick room. Because it only lasts 5 turns, or is it 4 turns? Whatever. It only lasts a certain amount of turns, so you can use that. But you got to remember, all these people are going to be coming at you. So it's definitely, there's a lot to go on. But yeah, definitely think about what you use and what you like, and really pay attention to the rules of that league and do what you got to do to feel comfortable with your team and know it and kind of understand the mechanics of it. Don't go too crazy and try and make some scheme that you don't understand. You might lose a couple times, but once you get it down, you might start winning. Who knows? That's what draft leagues are about, is the challenge and figuring stuff out.
Looking at free agents, obviously you don't want to show too much of your hand. I know that you got your second game upcoming after the first game. Were there any weaknesses that were kind of exploited in your team building that you kind of realized you need to shore up? Any types that you might be targeting in free agent upcoming?
Um, yeah, I definitely have a lot of weakness to fairy, more than I expected. Everything else is kind of down the middle. I'm probably only going to switch one for now. Um, Definitely need to get either a fairy, steel, or I'm trying to think, possibly. I think it's fair. I have the poison, but I don't really have an effective poison. Garbodor is, it's kind of my little like secret clutch Pokemon, not to give too much out because it's the only, Gigantamax I have. Uh, but definitely leaning more towards like a steel fairy to kind of get something on my line. But I have a few ideas. I have a few tricks on my sleeve, so we'll see.
All right, Eric, that's pretty much all I've got in terms of the interview today. Was there anything that you would like to say before leaving? Anything you'd like to mention before we sign off here?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the Nidoqueens Castle for allowing me into their community. Uh, Very heartfelt welcome. I'm glad that they have pretty much brought me in, and they're being very helpful. They're giving me good advice. There's no real, it's not a toxic group. Like, you feel like what you say kind of can go to somebody, and if they don't know, they'll pass you to the next person. So I really appreciate it. Shout out to, of course, you, NexusComplex, Savior Cody, for kind of pushing me in the direction to get better competitively, as well as do better as far as content creation. So yeah, it's been a very interesting last couple weeks. So I'm very excited for my next matchup with the Porygons, and I'm definitely looking forward to facing Mr. Cody next week with all of his little things that he likes to do. So I'm very excited. I'm pretty hyped about it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Eric. Best of luck for the upcoming season. Obviously, draft league could go either way. I've told people it's just as easy to go 0-8 as it is to go 8-0 in a draft league. Any team can beat you any given week, but I wish you the best of luck going forward. I know you started off 0-1, but that's not indicative of the play. And just keep playing a good game, and everything will come to you.
Yeah, man, definitely. Even if I end up 0-25, I'll still have a good time. So
A big thank you once again to Eric for carving out some time for the interview. We're going to take a look at the second half of the results around the league and then get into our second interview of the episode. We have the Oregon Oshawott over the Tampa Bay Thunderbolts 6-4, the Dade County Magmar taking down the Napa Valley Tyrants, the Bayou Buzzwolves taking down the Northern Irish Nihilegos, the Lavender Town Ghosts taking down the Tampa Bay Thunderbolts, the Napa Valley Tyrants taking down the Black City Mambas, the Portland Porygon besting the Lavender Town Ghosts 6-3, and the Weston Road Weaviles taking down the Nidoqueens 6-2. And now we have Luke, head coach of the London Lantern. Luke, thank you for joining me today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Luke, you are a new coach here in the Nidoqueens Castle Draft League. This is our second season. You currently sit at 1-1 with a lot of other teams. I think the last time I looked at the standings, there are 10 teams that sit at 1-1. How do you feel like your first two games went?
Well, as you say, they are at 1-1. My first game was against Jay and the Western Road Weaviles. That was just a disaster. Every sort of strategy I had planned, he countered beautifully, and subsequently just destroyed my team. I fared a bit better against Rayan and the Limerick Lightning. I did see quite a lot of electric on the team in the forms of Tapu Koko and Electivire, so I took a ride on, and that was pretty much my planning. Our team was very, very well thought out, and I'm just lucky I had Ride-On there with me. Otherwise, I would have gone down there as well.
Absolutely. Lightning Rod can change the whole course of a game if there's electrics on the field. I don't really like to look ahead in the schedule. I'm not sure how you look at that either. But going into week 2, you have a showdown with Cody, which I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to. I know this league loves history and story behind games. Are there any other games on the schedule of your remaining 6 that you've kind of got circled on the calendar or something that you're looking forward to?
As you said, this is my first time in a draft, the Nidoqueens draft. There are a few games. I know a few people in the draft, and it'll be good to sort of play against them. Coty is definitely one of them. So this week is going to be very, very good. But there's nothing specific that I have circled in the calendar. I'm just looking for some great battles with some great trainers.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the best way to go about it. Don't really have anything circled. Just kind of go into everything with the same mindset. You kind of play better that way. So last thing I got for you here. Now that you've had 2 games under your belt, I know you didn't make a waiver move this week. Are you looking at any other Pokemon to switch out, or is there anything on your team that you're targeting? Or are you just kind of like rolling with it right now, and if something terrible happens, you'll kind of make a decision as you go?
At the moment, I'm quite happy with the team. There are a few that I'm toying with the idea of having, purely because I like that Pokemon, but I'm not sure where I see them on my team yet. Magnezone is one of them. I know he's available in Tier 1, but I just don't see a place for him in my team.
Well, perfect. Thank you for the transparency. I don't know many coaches that would have told me that Pokemon and put it out there for the rest of the league, but I think you got a good chance. I really like your team. I think you're a good trainer. I wish you the best luck going forward in the season. I definitely could see you as one of the teams to make a run in the playoffs. So, yeah, in summary, thank you for joining me, Luke, and best of luck going forward in the season.
Thank you, Heath. Take care.
And now, with all the week 1 results in the books, we're going to take a look at the division standings going into week 2. And with that, week 1 of Nidoqueens Draft League is in the books. If you guys like this summary of the week and the Draft League and the games and things like that, let me know. I will try to do this going forward. Good luck to all the coaches for the rest of the season. We can't win them all, but best of luck to everybody. And until next time, I've been NexusComplex. I will see you on the next one.